Welcome back to another Jay's Collect video, and today we are taking a look at an exciting one for me. We have Daredevil from the Netflix series from season 2 or the Defenders series. You let me know in the comments below which outfit this is based off of. But anyway, it's Daredevil. Now, I never had a Daredevil action figure in my collection, and I've been wanting one, especially from the Netflix era and the Daredevil Born Again show, because I already have a Matt Murdock action figure. And for those who do not know, I am legally blind or visually impaired. I still have some sight. So even though there's some stuff in that show that's definitely not true to real life visually impaired blind people, but for me, I'm a huge superhero fan, so I'm just really happy to have this Daredevil in my collection. So yeah. Now, I don't have the package because I ordered this outside of the package because it was just cheaper that way. Plus, I didn't need the extra build-a-figure pieces. I just wanted Daredevil and his accessories. And funny story, I actually have two of these guys on accident. My first order I made said it came with everything, but then there was no fist. So I then went on and ordered another Daredevil from actually the same seller who had the Punisher figure, which I'll be reviewing on Monday. So keep an eye out for that video. Anyway, that's enough of story time. Now let's move on and take a look at those accessories, and then we'll take a look at Daredevil. So up first for accessories, we have two black fists, which is nice to get, especially for Daredevil. You can have some punching action poses on your display. But yeah, there's really no other detail on these fists. You just get two of them, so I'm happy to add these to my collection. So you have that, and you also get his little stick accessory or his weapons. I'm not quite sure what this is exactly called. I think it's a shot right there, but it's just a red stick with some silver in the middle and some silver at the end of each tip right there. And you can pull this apart, and real quick, it may be a bit warped just because of how old it is, but you have that. But anyway, you can pull it apart like so, and you can use them separately if you want. And these can port into a little pouch on his belt, so I really like that they're able to store these, because I am someone who likes storing weapons if they're able to on my action figures and everything. So yeah, that's a look at the accessories. Let's now take a look at Daredevil. And here's a look at Charlie Cox Daredevil up close in the mask and everything. You can see he has a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow on his face right there. And you let me know if that looks like him. I was told it looks a little bit like him. He does have a little smirk there, which he does sometimes give in the show. But you have that. You got the two horns on top right there. You got some black little line detailing on the side of the cowl right here. And then same on the back here, just some more of that line detailing. And then it's the same on this side of the helmet right there. And then for the mask portion of it, you got these kind of red lenses where you're supposed to be able to see his eyes in the show. So you have that. Again, I'm just really happy to add this to my collection, and I look forward to getting the updated version from Born Again when it comes out later this year. I say that, let's be honest, I probably won't review it until months after it's already come out. But anyway, that's a look at the head sculpt. Now taking a look at the body right here. For the suit itself, it's basically red, which is black lines just throughout it. So take a look there, you can see the main body. It starts off with this kind of darker red color with some black lines spread throughout it. And then you have black and red and silver buckles for the belt down there. And taking a look at the back here, I think it's more that red color with some black lines just spread throughout it. So you have that. And then for the arms here, it starts off red. For the shoulders up there with some black lines, again around that, has a black line going down the arm right there. And then up to where you bend the elbow, it's red, and then below that portion, it's black for the rest of the arm there, and then the hand, of course, which you have open hands so you can hold the little stick accessories. And it's going to be the same for this arm as well, with that black little ring design near the shoulder up here, I believe, and then the same black line going down the arm right there. Some red up to the elbow joint where it bends, and you have black for the rest of the arm there, and then again, another open hand. So you have that. And then taking a look at the legs here, got some more of that red design for the upper thigh area. Actually, I think it's in shot. I kind of lost it. There it is, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right there. Anyway, you got some red for the thighs right there. You got some black straps because those connect to this little pouch area where the sticks can port in. So you have that. And then I think it's black on the inside of the leg right up here. Sorry, I just had to feel to see where I was. So yeah, it's black on the inside of the leg up there. And it should be mirrored for this leg as well. And then taking a look at the side here, more of that red, I think a little bit black line detailing. And then here's what the back looks like for the legs. And then for the rest of the leg, below the knee where you would bend the, well, I guess knee right there, it's black for the pants and then the boots. So you have that. I will say, this, when I first got this back in, I think March it was, he seemed a bit flat for some reason. His like torso seemed a bit squarish. I don't know if it's just me, but that was something I picked up when I first got it, and I can still kind of feel it even to this day, 2 months later. But I don't know. You let me know in the comments below. Does his torso look a bit too flat and a bit squarish? I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, that's a look at the Daredevil figure from the Netflix era. Now let's take a look at articulation. Okay, so taking a look at articulation, you can turn his head around 360 degrees like so. He can look up that far, so not a lot, but just a little bit. And he does look down that far, so he does look down pretty good there. He doesn't really go side to side. You can turn 360 degrees at the arm like so. You can pull the elbow out like so. I will try to be careful because I don't want to break it, just given how old he is. You can bend the elbow in like so. Turn at the hand. He does have wrist articulation, so that's pretty nice. And then he doesn't really, I guess he turns the whole elbow joint right there, or arm joint, not elbow. And then same for this arm, should be mirrored, turn 360 degrees like so, pull the elbow or the arm out like so. You can bend at the elbow like so, turn at the hand, and again more of that wrist articulation, and turn at the whole arm joint up there. And then let's see if I can get it back into position. There we go. And then for the waist, he does turn 360 degrees like so. He bends that far down, and he bends that far back, so pretty good there. He does not go side to side. He kicks up that far, bends at the knee like so, and then bends at the foot. He does go side to side. And then same for this leg, kick up that far, bend at the elbow, or bend at the knee, not the elbow, and then bend at the foot like so, and it does go side to side. And then I think that's pretty much all the articulation, because he doesn't turn at the leg there, or the upper lower knee joint. He does do splits, so that's nice to get him some acrobatic poses. So yeah. Anyway, that's a look at articulation. Let's take a look to see what he looks like next to Kingpin and Matt Murdock. And here we have Daredevil next to Matt Murdock and Kingpin. I feel like Daredevil works perfect with his height right here. He is a little taller than Matt, but I guess that makes sense given, you know, his boots and maybe the height of the cowl just gives him extra bit of length there. And then he's not as tall as Kingpin, but he's kind of almost there as tall, but the Kingpin from 2023, if not 2024, still is taller than Daredevil, so that still works. Unlike Punisher, who is a lot taller than all of these characters right here, which we'll take a look at on Monday. Anyway, that's what he looks like next to those two, Kingpin and Matt Murdock. Now let's move out to the outro and take a look at my final thoughts. So before we move out to the outro, one thing I forgot to show in the video here was putting these in this little holster area. I'm not quite sure if it matters which ones these go in, but there's little holes in that little pouch area right there, and these can just slide into it like so. So it just slides in like that, and we can take this one here, I think it goes in like this. So you can push it in like so. That may be upside down, but we get the idea here. There you go. So those can just port in right there, and you can store them on his leg and everything, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, with that, now we'll move out to my outro. Well, there you go. That is my review of Daredevil from the Netflix era from the Marvel Legends line. Overall, I am happy to have this in my collection. Again, I can't wait to see the updated version for the Born Again series. But for now, I'm just, like I said, happy to add this version of him from the original Netflix show into my collection. It'll go nicely next to the Punisher, which, again, that video will be coming out Monday, so keep an eye out for that and everything. So yeah, I have really no other thoughts I can think of for this video. So with that, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Keep an eye out for other videos coming out to the channel pretty soon. And so with that, take care.